Let's do some Monday Night Raw hot takes where you, the viewer, gets to pick what I wrestle chop, where I'm going to talk about. We got Jimbo Slice saying, I want less of Chad Gable pouting and more of him being the most intense he's ever been. All right, so I think I'm the only one on the internet that is not on board with this face turn. I think they made a huge mistake. They can still correct it even, but I don't think they're gonna. That window is closing, and it looks like he is a babyface through and through right now. First off, let me tell you, they did do a good job telling the story of him apologizing to everybody, giving Rey Mysterio the mask, so I fully admit they did some good storytelling last night. However, I still think it's a short-sighted game plan here, and WWE needs to start applying this question to everything they write. And here's the question, and then what? And then what? Because if you don't ask that question, eventually you just run out of story. So let's apply it to this Chad Gable situation. Chad Gable, he has the most awesome, amazing story with the mask versus mask match with El Grande Americano, right? Okay, so he loses. And then what? Okay, so he goes to Raw and apologize to everybody. Okay, and then what? Goes and saves Rey Mysterio, gives him his mask back. And then what? He goes and apologizes to Alpha Academy. Okay, and then what? He teams up with Otis, and then what? He wins the tag team titles, and then what? Nothing. Okay? If they would have asked the and then what question after the New Day turned on Big E, maybe that heel turn, that epic heel turn wouldn't have flopped. Or what if they would have asked the and then what question when John Cena turned heel? Because you know what? Hey, let's turn John Cena heel. That's a huge epic moment. I bought in hook, line, and sinker. I wanted to see what happened next. Okay, and then what? He goes and wins the 17th world title. Okay, and then what? He goes and feuds with Randy Orton. And then what? He feuds with CM Punk. And then what? He goes on SmackDown, tells everybody that he was having a bad day and that he loves wrestling, doesn't want to ruin wrestling. Yeah. Okay, so when Chad Gable and Otis win the tag team titles, and then what? Yeah, no, at this point, Chad Gable will get maybe an I Respect You match against Penta at SummerSlam. Is that going to be really that interesting? I mean, it's going to be a great match. Chad Gable can wrestle a mop, and that's going to be at least a 4-star classic. Him and Penta at SummerSlam, it'll be cool. They'll respect the heck out of each other. But let's go back in time a little bit. Let's change the El Grande Americano match. Instead of Chad Gable's El Grande OG Americano versus rightful El Grande Americano, let's instead of Chad Gable getting the ring announcer fired, instead of Chad Gable attacking Pimpinella, instead of Chad Gable stealing the sword, the Rey to Rey sword, instead of Chad Gable just being an awful human being, let's have Chad Gable just say, you know what? I respect you, El Grande Americano. Let's just go in the ring and let's have a really good exhibition match, and whoever wins, well, you can be the Grande Americano. That would have still been a good match. That still would have been a good match, but would it have been as epic of a tale that they told? No, it would not have. Yes, the arm bars would have been the same arm bars, but for some reason, when one wrestler hates another wrestler, well, that arm bar is just a little better. And so, if Chad Gable had come back a heel and then fought Penta, that would be an epic tale. But now, we're just going to get a good match. A good match instead of an epic tale with a good match. Big difference. If Chad Gable comes back a heel, you can ask the and then what question over and over and over again. Chad Gable comes back and he goes apologize to Rey Fenix. And then what? He attacks Rey Fenix. It was just a joke, you know? And then what? He goes to Raw. And then what? Penta gets in his face. And then what? American Made attack Penta. And then what? Chad Gable steals his mask. And then what? You see, you can just like, I'm making this all up on the spot. And then what? There's so much more to answer the and then what question when he's a heel. Like, but you're like, oh, but his redemption arc, he now respects Mexico. Just have him not respect Mexico. Okay, so he takes off the mask, he comes back to America, and he just kind of no-sells. He kind of no-sells that goodbye speech. He says, you know what? I'm glad I'm back in America. I couldn't drink the water in Mexico. I hated that place. I'm glad I lost. And now you guys can see my beautiful, handsome face while I dismantle the luchadors here. A good heel shouldn't really learn from their mistake. They should just learn not to make the same mistake twice. That's what Drew McIntyre does. When Drew McIntyre loses a feud, he doesn't just become a good guy. He just kind of says, yeah, whatever. That wasn't really my fault that I lost that. You know, it's the world's fault. And I just think there's so much more opportunity for Chad Gable. I've seen time and time again Chad Gable get these like moment pushes and then they just go nowhere. I've been watching Chad Gable since American Alpha. Okay, I like Shorty G, anybody? All right, I've seen it time and time again. Yeah, last night he had one really good push. They already blew through his redemption arc in one episode of Raw. Oh man, so I'm gonna get an I Respect You match with Penta at SummerSlam, and maybe a tag team win over the Vision. Like, whoop-de-doo. Pretty much anybody can beat Braun Breaker nowadays. They told a good story last night, but I think they left money on the table. I'm sorry. And before you unsubscribe from the channel, I recommend you don't because, well, you can't win the belt if you unsubscribe. I am giving away this belt right here or any belt that you've ever seen on my shoulder at 30,000 subscribers. Giving it away in order to quit my day job, people. How do you win it? Well, subscribe and comment below. That's how I pick a winner. Random comment, random video. I pick a winner and then I will ship you a belt of your choosing. Free shipping, free everything. It's not a toy. It's a replica and it could be yours. Let's do some more hot takes, you know? And it's like, I always find it funny when people get super upset at hot takes. I mean, they're hot takes. They're hot takes. Let's, you know, do you only want the mild ones? Is that what you want? Anyways, Aaron Loire says, should have given Ricky Saints the win. SmackDown has yet to win a single qualifying match. It's way too lopsided. Very lopsided, but that's usually how it goes. SmackDown is always getting the hand-me-downs or the L's for the most part. I will say, though, that Ricky Saints and Tala Tonga both very much impressed me tonight. I feel this was both of their best outings since joining the main roster. Alfonso Passion says, Oba has to win. Not sure how they make him lose if Brock Lesnar doesn't cost him the match. Well, honestly, I think Brock is going to cost him the match. Oba Femi came out tonight and called him the B word. He said, where you at? You can't make it 1-1 and then just hide like a B word. So, honestly, Brock is going to come next week. That's what I'm thinking. Brock comes next week, interferes. Dominic Mysterio can be like, I beat Oba Femi. You know, how he does. And plus, it's kind of a callback then. I think I might have mentioned this on my One Take One Shot, but once upon a time, Brock Lesnar fought an Eddie Guerrero for the championship. And nobody thought, myself included, that Eddie was going to win. And lo and behold, Eddie won. Yes, there was interference, but hey, you know what? If Brock interferes against Oba, then we'll have just a repeat of that upset. Now, do I want that? I don't know. I really do want Oba Femi winning, tell you the truth, but I kind of want Dominic Mysterio winning. So I think I'm going to be happy whoever wins and mad whoever loses, actually. Kid Wilkes says, whoever said Chelsea Green is not world title material needs to be fired. That was Michael P.S. Hayes on Unreal Season 2. I love AEW Wrestling says, I can't believe Seth and Braun are still feuding. It feels like it's been years at this point. Yeah, oh God, end this feud. Please end this feud. I really thought that Seth was going to win the King of the Ring, so I do give them props for that swerve. When Seth cut the promo on Roman Reigns last night, I was like, oh, it's a done deal. Seth is going to win. And I don't think Seth and Roman need the King of the Ring in order to have a feud. So, props for not just taking the easy route to Roman and Seth. They have so much history. They can, like, in a snap of your finger, those two can feud and be the main event of any card. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, whatever it may be. That said, I love Braun Breaker. I really do. I just did a video, though, on how WWE has really diminished the aura of Braun Breaker to the point where, honestly, I just don't really care anymore. Oh, Braun Breaker, he's spearing somebody. Cool. I just wish he would move on and they would rebuild the guy. I wish somehow, some way he can get out from under Paul Heyman and just go on his own. Like, maybe Seth and him can have one more feud where Seth says, if I win, the Vision is completely dismantled. And, at this point, I'd be all for it. Send him to SmackDown. Let him rebuild himself. I just cannot believe how little I care about Braun Breaker right now to how much I cared about him a year and a half ago. Because they have just wrote that guy into the ground. Killer Wolf says, Oba's promos are getting better and better week by week, and I'm enjoying it. Honestly, I feel like they've been holding Oba Femi back. He cuts a pretty decent promo. I mean, it's not like on the levels of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he still cuts a very good, unique promo that I don't understand why we've only made him a squash machine. Like, let the guy talk. Let the guy talk because he's entertaining as all get out. And honestly, let the guy wrestle too. He's more than 4 moves. He really is. I really enjoyed him in NXT. When you saw him wrestle there, he would constantly have like 10-minute matches, 15-minute matches. That wasn't rare. Yeah, he was still a dominant guy, but he would actually have to work for the victory. And I really hope we can get back to that Oba Femi. So letting him speak more and more, that's a good step in that direction because he's a very well-rounded superstar. Big Dog says Jey Uso still out of breath from yeeting doing his promo. I will give this, though, to him. He is looking way better. It's almost like night and day. When he's like just the right-hand man, he is so interesting. But the moment he had to run it back, like it was like, oh yeah, yeet. Let's eat for a while. I'm so loving that he's no longer yeeting, but I do understand why he was kind of forced to because that France crowd was not gonna not let him yeet. I loved also LA Knight saying, I'm not just going to stand here while you yeet. Shut up. Stop the music. That's what more people should be doing to Jey Uso. Stop the music. This is ridiculous. As for him out of breath, yeah. Sean Storm says, extreme hot take, Oba's pants are the real MVP of the night. Not torn once. Yeah, maybe Brock Lesnar should find out what kind of material those pants are made of because Brock is like 0 and 2 when it comes to his pants ripping. Carmichael says LA Knight is on fire right now. I will never give up on him, especially after the Chris Van Vliet interview where he said all he wants to do is cuddle his puppies. And I'm so happy he is getting mega pops. He's just my guy. I will say I'm very happy that LA Knight is getting promo time and he's calling out Roman Reigns, and so I really am enjoying LA Knight right now. However, I wish I could say I'm not gonna give up on him, but if he doesn't win King of the Ring or Money in the Bank this year, I think it's over. I really do think it's over for LA Knight as a main event guy. He'll just be like a top mid-card guy, and that'll be his ceiling, unfortunately. He'll be one of those what ifs. $1 Million Man, Mr. Perfect. He'd be like, what if we would have just went all in on this guy? Which sucks because he's so freaking good. Charles Yancey says, I'm really mad because that win should have gone to Chelsea, not Liv. Yeah, this whole Liv thing, Liv Morgan should just not be in the Queen of the Ring. Oh, but Chop, she can now wrestle Raquel Rodriguez. Remember how earlier I said that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns did not need the King of the Ring for those two to wrestle each other. There's just a built-in story. Same applies for Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. We did not need Liv Morgan and the Queen of the Ring for Raquel to face her. They have a built-in storyline that they can just break in case of emergency whenever they need to and just say, okay, well, Liv got jealous finally of Raquel, or Raquel got tired of playing second fiddle. Instantly, they could be feuding. Don't need Queen of the Ring. Like Chelsea Green, 100% could use it, especially when there are people in the backstage who already don't think that she has what it takes. Well, then give her a shot at it. Give her a chance to see if she does have what it takes. Give her the crown. Look what she did with the U.S. title. She became the president of the United States. Imagine her with a crown being the queen. Could you imagine how obnoxious she would be? It'd be the levels of Booker T, and I say that in a good thing. King Booker was awesome, and Queen Chelsea would have been amazing. Non-Cyclist Pro says, great Raw, wasted spot on Javon. Huge missed opportunity there. Whew. I was not expecting Javon to win, and I think it was very brave of WWE to let him win. I don't see where we go here, honestly, but I don't think it was a wasted spot. Once upon a time, the King of the Ring was meant to elevate the mid-card acts. It wasn't a thing just so you could put it on your resume. Oh, Cody Rhodes, you just main evented WrestleMania last year? Why don't we let you be the king also? It wasn't really meant for the main event guys. Stone Cold Steve Austin was not a main event guy when he won the King of the Ring. In fact, it was the King of the Ring that gave him the 316 promo. Hunter Hearst Helmsley was fighting pig pen matches and dumpster matches before he won the King of the Ring. Edge hadn't won a singles title before he won the King of the Ring. So, I'm definitely okay with someone like Javon winning King of the Ring over someone like Seth Rollins. Seth just doesn't need it. Adam the Alien says, hot take, Soul is not ready for a championship or a push at the moment. Why? Is it because she botched a bunch of her soul snatchers? But based on the match that you saw tonight, tell me why you don't feel, I need to know why you don't feel that she's not ready. Because I thought she had a really good match tonight. So in the future, if you're going to get a comment like a hot take like that, you got to tell me she is not ready for the main event or a push because... and then just tell me why. Tracy Wood says, Talatunga finally impressed me tonight for the first time. Yes, I agree. Same here. I get it. The guy's tall. But tonight you could see that he was a towering menace. He felt like a giant tonight. But I will say, where was Solo Sikoa? And then what we should also follow up with is on SmackDown, Solo should punish Talatunga for not being able to get the job done. 3 minutes, a 3-minute punishment for Talatunga for losing. Do stuff. Do stuff with the characters. Goes back to what I said earlier. Okay, Talatunga lost tonight. And then what? Kerr Fleffer says there were 3 clear future stars on tonight's show. Oba, Ruka, and Gable. I'm excited for Oba's dominance, Ruka's reign, and Gable's apology to Otis for his redemption. Well, I already talked about how I'm not a big fan of Gable apology, but I do understand why people would be, because they tell that story really well. Ruka definitely, Oba definitely, and honestly, even Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, Dominic Mysterio got the losing side of that segment, but that's Dominic's job. Dominic's job was to get the losing side. He's a chicken heel. Even though he's a 20-year vet, he's still on the very young side of things. What is he, 28? So, he's the same age as Obafemi, honestly. So, yeah, future star right there. And then Javon Evans. The final image of the night was Javon Evans winning. Braun Breaker as well, spearing Seth Rollins, even though they dropped the ball totally on Braun Breaker. Maybe somehow they pick it back up. But, yeah, tonight was a very good showcase for younger talent. I mean, Lyra Valkyria had a good outing too with Sol Rukas, and even Jacob Fatu in a slow burn storyline. So yeah, Raw, a showcase for future talent. All right, boys. All right, girls. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.